Hi everyone, I'm Brian Easterday and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So in today's video, I'm going to be continuing my Sun Through the Signs video series, and I'll be talking about Sun in the sign of Taurus. But before I get into that, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because I don't want you to miss out on any future videos that could help you turn your challenges into strengths. So Sun, when it comes into the sign of Taurus, this is an interesting one here. So Taurus tends to be a sign that is a little bit more to do with like lunar type of energies. In fact, this is where the moon becomes exalted. But the sun can do well here as well because there are some similar qualities. Because the sun is driven and has goals, things like that, it does well in the sign of Taurus. Well, why is that? Well, Taurus is a sign symbolized by the bull. So they're very hardworking. They can be very stubborn. And remember, our strengths can be our weaknesses and our weaknesses are strengths. So if we have a goal that's worth working towards, being stubborn in the way that we go about achieving that, like being, I'm not going to give up type of attitude, that's a great quality. But if there's an area of our life where we maybe need to shift and change and not be so stuck in our ego, that stubbornness could maybe not be the healthiest thing. So we want to make sure we use that in the correct way. So that's one of the lessons for someone with their sun coming into the sign of Taurus. It's definitely how to use your stubbornness in a healthy way. Now, Taurus is an earth sign, and it's ruled by the planet Venus. So it deals with all the earthly things, beauty, good food, pleasurable things, beautiful art, clothes, and music, and all the when you think of like culture and just the beautiful things human beings can produce, or just even the beautiful things you see in nature, that's Venus. That's what Venus deals with. And Taurus is the feminine or the internal expression of Venus. So, what do Taurus people want to do? They want to experience those things. They want to be the receiver of those things because it's a feminine sign. And it's what the feminine energy does. It receives things. The masculine gives things. So, with Taurus, they want to eat the best food, hear the best music, wear the nicest clothes, have lots of good friendships, go see wonderful art, all these different things, just experience all the beautiful things. So when sun comes here, this is definitely a big thing that this person's soul in this incarnation, they really wanted to experience those Venetian things in life, those beautiful things in life, the pleasurable things. And many people will think, oh, somehow that makes them unspiritual. Not the case at all. And if you think that, you don't really understand spirituality, and at least not from the Vedic perspective, because the Vedic perspective, we do not look down on pleasure. In fact, I'll do a video on the purpose of, the five purposes of life here soon. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. The very first one is kama, which is achieving desire, having desire. Then you need artha, you need things to be able to achieve those desires, so on and so forth. But having desire, wanting to experience things like this plane, this reality is just as spiritual as any other. In fact, if it wasn't, your soul wouldn't bother coming here. Did you ever think about that? Maybe this place is more spiritual than the 10th fucking dimension or the sixth ether or whatever fucking bullshit thing some teacher or guru is trying to tell you is spirituality. No, it's right here. It's in the things that happen in this life. It's in our friendships. It's in our relationships. It's with being able to grow a beautiful garden out there and harvest it and make a beautiful meal and share that with your friends. That kind of joy. That's it. That's spirituality. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. You just have to see the purpose behind everything. So Sun and Taurus, these are some of the lessons that you're learning when your sun comes into this placement. And again, I'm not I'm simply talking about these two things. I'm not talking about specific nakshatras, what house it is in the chart, any other conjunctions or any other aspects of the chart. I'm just uh, looking through like a microscope at these two specific energies and how they relate together. Another big thing for the sun here in Taurus is that they really want to have a sense of security and stability, because that's a big thing with Taurus. It originally rules the second house, and that also deals with like wealth and inheritance, stability, the things we take in, those type of things. So Taurus really craves having that sense of security and stability, and there's a reason for that. If you look directly across from it in the chart, Scorpio, which is the sign of chaos and sudden change and the ending of things and stuff like that. So Taurus and people with like a sudden Taurus in the back of their mind, they're always going to have this feeling that, oh, well, what if something goes wrong, or what if this happens, or they situations come up, chaos comes up in life, and I need to have a savings account in case my car breaks down. I need to have money set aside in case this happens. Whatever it is, they want to have that sense of stability. And because the sun is here, their ego can very much be involved with that. So, for example, a person with like Sun and Taurus, if they were having, say, the unhealthy expression of this and they got into like a narcissistic type of ego, it could be like, oh, I have the biggest house, I have all the nicest cars, I have all this, and somehow that makes me better than you. It's not. You have to be careful for that ego trap with, like, as a person in Sun and Taurus, and not just get lost in the materialism of things. See that the material is a manifestation of spirit, of Vishnu, of consciousness, and that by experiencing those things, you're having a spiritual experience. In that way, you'll develop a healthy ego and a sense of self, and not just like this materialistic, narcissistic type of sense of self that can sometimes happen. And again, that will also depend on other placements in the chart, where it is, all the strength of the sun, how well Venus is placed, because Venus is the dispositor here. Those different type of things will all come into, those all have an effect. So you have to consider the chart holistically. But just if we're looking at just these energies, that's something that you could see as a lesson. So what's the healthy way to get the most out of this placement? Well, it's to know that, hey, having a sense of security and stability is a good thing, because things do happen in life. Problems do come up, and having a savings account or a spare vehicle or food stashed away or whatever it may be, that's a good thing. So if those things do happen, you're prepared for them. But don't let that, if you're struggling with some of those things, don't let that get you down. Don't get down on yourself or feel like you're an unsuccessful person or something just because you're not where you want to be yet. Learn to enjoy what you have in the now. That's another big lesson. Another healthy way to use this sign would be to take the goal orientation of Taurus and of the sun and use those together. Become very goal oriented. Become uh, stubborn towards that, like, no, I'm going to achieve my goals and I'm not fucking giving up until I do. Very similar to like the energy I talked about with like Sun and Aries. The sun in both of these signs is very goal oriented. So use that. Have goals that are worthwhile. Don't just have a goal of materialism just for the sake of materialism. Have a goal of, no, I'm going to create this wealth so I can experience a beautiful life, so I can get the most out of this experience, so I can learn the most about who I am as a soul, as an Atma. That's the approach you want to come at life with the sun in the sign of Taurus. So that's going to wrap this up, guys. I hope you found it valuable. If you did, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because I don't want you to miss out on any of the future videos that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. And let me know in the comments, have you found this helpful? Where's your sun at in your chart? Or have you looked at your Vedic chart yet? I definitely want to hear from you guys below as well. If you need to get a hold of me for information about consultations, courses, whatever it may be, you can click the link below in the description. That goes to my link tree, and that will take you to my website for courses and consultations, that type of stuff, as well as any of my other social medias and things. That way you can be able to follow all of my work. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys next time.